released in 1989 by Capcom. It is based on the Japanese manga series Strider Hero. This game is not to be confused with the Strider that came out on the Sega Genesis and in the arcades. While the two share their same source material, this game is quite different. It might seem a little confusing, especially when you add in all the sequels that followed the arcade game. But we're not here to talk about them, we're here just to look at the NES game. Here you take control of Strider Hero, who is assigned to assassinate a fellow Strider named Kane, who is suspected of being a traitor. However, as the game unfolds, things aren't exactly as they seem. This game is a solid action platformer, somewhat typical of the era. Capcom was known for some very high quality games on the NES, and this is no different. The graphics are quite good, as is the soundtrack. The controls aren't quite as good as some of the other Capcom titles. The jumps seem to be floaty at first, and then you drop like a stone at the end of them. The difficulty is pretty typical of this time. It might seem a little difficult at first, however you do adjust. There is an experience leveling system, quite like an RPG. Also, there are new techniques you can learn and new items to pick up, many of which are necessary to progress in later parts of the game. Between that and the backtracking you need to do to advance in the game, you can say this is like a Metroidvania game well before that term was ever coined. Also, I have to say how amusing it is that this game is set in the year 2048 and you're still hunting for floppy disks. I guess you can say this game does show its age. Personally, I've always liked this game. Its ambitious, non-linear style required some thinking, which wasn't very common in a lot of games. I never really got very far in the game myself. However, it was one of those games where I kept wanting to come back to it and get better at it, and I think that really is one of the things that made a good game from this time, that you just kept playing and kept on wanting to get a little further each time. However, like a lot of NES games, they haven't aged all that well, and the translations weren't the best. However, that aside, I still find the games very enjoyable, and seeing how Strider Hero is a featured character in the Marvel vs. Capcom games, and the Strider sequels, which did come out, including one that was released earlier this year, it might be interesting for some people to see where he had his origins. While this game differs quite a bit from the others in the series, it does follow the manga a lot closer, and I just feel this game is definitely worth checking out. I hope you've enjoyed this review. More to come. See you next time. Take care.